Hey everyone, welcome to Pipes, Tobacco, and Whiskey. So today at the Muletown Show, I've got with me Chris Madiota, who is the creator of C. Martin Pipes. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Chris because Chris is an up-and-coming artisan that is beginning to show off his work at pipe shows. And I bought a nice, what shape would you say that is? Dublin-esque?
I would call it a Chubley Dublin, but I like to call it a Chublin.
A Chublin,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
A beautiful pipe. The work on it is meticulous. The blast on it is so subtle, but really, really nice. Colors are good. Is this ivory?
Oh, ivory.
Yeah, fake. Well, you can't use real ivory anymore,
Yeah,
can you?
yeah.
Yeah. And then an ebonite stem.
Yes, sir.
This is beautiful work. Nice little plateau going on right there. So I wanted to share some of his work with you guys so that you can kind of get a hold of him and also get to see his work and maybe get something for yourselves. But first of all, let's talk a little bit about your background. Let's talk about how you got to the point of deciding you wanted to make pipes.
So it first started in 9th grade, woodshop, right? So, and didn't really think anything of it. Okay, it's going to be an easy class and whatnot. And the first thing we did was, all right, we're going to turn a pen. So first time using a wood lathe, right? It was just like a cheapo Wen thing, but that experience stuck with me. But after that semester, I never really thought about it again for a while. But I did like it though. And then at that time, 14, 15, a lot of kids would get into cars, so all my friends got into cars. Me and my brother, we got into cars. So what did we end up doing? Me and my brother both ended up building 2 identical cars from the ground up.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was.
Where did you go to school?
In Washington.
Washington.
Yeah, so born and raised Washingtonian.
Okay.
So I love that state.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so pretty much after that, the car was pretty much finished. Project car's never actually finished, but at the time it was a matter of, okay, I can't spend any more money on this vehicle because for like three and a half years, it's like, oh, 10 grand. That's a lot of cash.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something a little cheaper, but I didn't really know what to do. And I remembered I enjoyed wood turning. So, all right, I'll get back into wood turning and figure some stuff out. So I started making just like little stuff like pens and whatnot, here and there stuff, like little gauges for my brother for ears. But then I got bored with that really quick. But I didn't want to venture down the realm of like turning vases or bowls. That wasn't appealing to me. So, you just get on YouTube. Like what can I make with a wood lathe?
Good old YouTube
Good old
videos.
YouTube. Yes. And what do I find? How to make a billiard by Jeff Grayson.
There you go, the best.
Yeah. So like a very top tier video, and so and that was pretty much that was it. That just set me off. Just the elegance of it, the way the shaping, the way you moved, everything about it was so enticing. And I said, that's what I want to do.
Nice. That so how old were you when that was?
I was 21. I think I just turned 21.
Okay. How long ago was that? How old are you?
I'm 26.
You're still a child.
Yeah,
Oh my
I'm still a baby. So, yeah, pretty much after my 21st birthday, and it was also around that same time of COVID and whatnot. So
I find that there's a lot of young artisans that COVID hit is what got them into pipe carving.
The funny thing, like it wasn't that I had a lot of free time. I was still working full time the entire time through COVID, so that didn't change. It was just like the timing was, ironic, I guess. But yeah, and that, so I decided to get wood lathe, comma sander, and then slowly building up tooling. Then I got a metal lathe, 7 by 12, a little baby, right? And then 8 by 16 started to get more dust collection, more tooling, accumulating grind and stuff like that. and then just figuring out exactly what I was doing. And granted, so just over 5 years, but I didn't make myself known until 3 years ago.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to have that arc of not knowing what I'm doing at all to where I am.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, I wanted to have my stuff look good and be confident in my work before I showed anyone. So I just lurked on Instagram and YouTube for 2 years and just slowly accumulating little
Kind of an
tidbits.
apprenticeship for yourself, basically, just to make sure that your work has a standard, has a look to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Got it.
Exactly. And then did that. And then my first show I ever went to was Vegas of 2023. And then I met a ton of people there. And then Chicago 24 was my first vendor event. So it was the first time I was actually at a show selling my work.
Okay.
And that was a successful show. Then Vegas, also good. Chicago this year, not too bad. Unfortunately, I missed Las Vegas last year, which that was a bummer.
I didn't get to go either.
Yeah.
I went the year before. I guess your first year there. I went in 24.
20, yeah.
So that was your first year there. Okay. Yeah. So tell me, you grew up in Washington. You started carving pipes in Washington, but you're not in Washington now.
No.
Are you in Columbus now? Is that where you
Yes.
are?
Yes, I'm
Okay,
in.
Columbus, Ohio. And I'll let you tell the story about how you got there.
So it was pretty much just a matter of through Promo Cheddar,
Yeah.
Smoke Taven Rock Crafted. We had talked here and there before I ever met him, and then I met him physically in 2023, and we stayed in contact. Then in 2024 in Vegas, he said, why don't you come visit? I could show you a workshop. We could collaborate and do this and that. And I said, yeah, that'd be amazing. Because Kreml's a great pipe maker. He's been around for a long time, and it linked into this is a good opportunity to visit and learn. And then it was me, took my wife, stayed at his home, very very sweet, and pretty much there's the first whisper of I could use some help. You guys, if you're willing, you could move down here. And that seed just planted and stuck. And then we're at first we're like, oh, I don't know, it's definitely a big move, big change, this and that. But then we just started looking into cost of living, stuff like that, and how it could be a huge benefit, and just the opportunity, it's very once in a lifetime. So all of those things thrown together, we kept it very much in mind, and then said, okay, due to February, weather ain't that great, kind of visuals, not so much, but visited in August, right, when it was summertime, so a better view, and thought, this isn't that bad, we could probably get used to this. And then after that, said, okay, we're gonna do it. Started planning in December, and then landed end of January.
And what year was this?
This year.
This year.
We've only been in Columbus for 6 weeks.
So, oh my goodness, so it's pretty recent.
Very
okay.
recent, yeah.
So are you actually working with Primmel now?
Working
at his
shop.
Shop?
Yeah.
Are you helping with the Buckeyes? Or?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you're carving.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your gig.
Yeah, that is technically, I could be considered a full-time pipe maker.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Well, and that's what you want. That's what you wanted.
Yeah. It's just the best of both worlds, because still working for somebody, but still making pipes all the time, so you don't have to fully rely on my own pipes as an income. because that can be a very
Yeah.
hard living.
Oh yeah, especially early on in your career, you know.
Very scary.
You have to build up a name and like that. So you're getting hands-on experience as you're making these, you know, helping make these Buckeye pipes, and then you come have time to do your stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious. I mean, because I'm looking at your work, and I can see a little bit of a Buckeye kind of presence in your work, but your work also has its own flavor.
Yeah. So, and that's the one thing that I really want to make clear is I, like, for the amount of time that I have, like, I do have my own like style.
Yeah.
You know, I still want that to be a separation that I don't want to lose, because obviously Buckeyes are they're supposed to be fun, freeing, creative.
Right.
But then in my own work, it's a lot more rigid. So
Well, you hold higher standards for yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
having that split, very important to me, and something I don't ever want to lose or forget about, because obviously it's only progressing if my own work progresses from, you know, making Buckeyes. That's what it's supposed to be for matters of efficiency and creativity.
Would you say that Buckeye pipes are more of a freehand kind of style?
They are like,
I mean, there's not a lot of what I would consider classical shapes. There's a lot of freehand form from classical style, but I think yours, like for instance, this what is this, a Dublin?
yeah, just a classic Dublin.
Yeah, that basically is a standard, right, of the industry, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the lines on it are really, really great. The blast on it is nice. I love the two-tone kind of staining that you've got going on with the smooth top on that. This is a beautiful pipe.
Thank you.
It's a gorgeous pipe. Yeah, so I can see kind of that influence. This cherry wood, this poker kind of right here.
Yeah.
Beautiful accent on there. Again, the kind of the smooth rim.
The smooth top makes it.
Yeah, I mean it's a classy touch.
Very much.
Yeah, yeah, very nice. So what do you see yourself in 5 years from now? What do you see yourself doing?
Hopefully, still working for Premel. Still just obviously developing my skill set, my name, my brand, and just being able to still be maybe even a more prominent American pipe maker, because that would just be an amazing thing to have to hold a.
Well, let me tell you, brother, you're not far from it, man. I mean, you're right there on the edge, man. You're ready. I love your work.
Thank you.
It's beautiful stuff. How can people look at your work?
So right now you can go to, mainly to Instagram, c.martinpipes, and I'll be like obviously the first one that shows up. And then you can also go through Etsy. That's where I have some of my listings. Right now, I need to make a website, but if you just type in artisan tobacco pipes
On Etsy?
you'll find me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you have a picture gallery, of course, probably on Instagram that everybody can kind of see where. Do you take commissions right now, or are you just kind of trying to develop your own?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do not take commissions.
I mean, that may come later.
It may come, yeah, but the point is to, I don't want to feel constrained by someone else's parameters. I know some commissions can be very loose, but I still want to make what I want to make when I'm making it, right?
Yeah. Well, and so much is determined by what the wood is speaking to you, and so it's probably pretty hard. And getting the stockpile of briar, and that's all of that is time consuming, but it's also financially consuming as well. So
Absolutely.
you work with what you got, and then eventually
Then
it'll open up.
Don't worry. I want this perfect. I know the perfect block for that, and I don't have to scour through a small.
All your stuff, like your stems, that's all hand done by you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All hand cut. I only use black SEM ebonite.
Yeah.
Just to keep it simple.
Yeah.
if I want to change the color, I'm changing the color of the pipe. The stem will always be black, and it's a small, like, minute detailing. Black is, from a, I guess, artisan standpoint, is the hardest to hide scratches. So when you shine it in the light, if you have a colored stem, you can hide some micro scratches pretty easily. You can't do the same with black.
Well, I was looking at the sheen on this stem, and I mean, it's like a mirror.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's really. You spend a lot of time on this. Is what it looks like. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Would you say that in your work that most of the time is spent working out the stem?
Probably half of it,
Yeah.
because it's just very, very meticulous. I have very strict parameters for my stems. If you can, like, for instance, from the button in any dimension is only a half a millimeter difference in every single way. So any pipe that you pick up, whether it be, this, that, anything else, even from like a year or two ago, they will pretty much all feel the same. So there's no difference.
The button on this one is just right to fit in my mouth for a clencher. I mean, it's perfect. It really is. Yeah, I like that. I like the height that you're using right here on the top of the button. The draw on this pipe is incredibly flow. The flow is just really nice.
Yeah. And that's another thing that I've tried to work on is obviously if there's any distortion, that causes turbulence. Obviously, you want it to be the flow to be as smooth as possible. So, like if you blow through any of my stems, there will be no whistle, no distortion, and I stop funneling when I don't hear a sound.
Got it. Yeah, the draw on this is incredible. It's really good. This is a great pipe. Great pipe, yeah. If you get a chance to look at his stuff on Instagram, please jump on there, man. Follow him. You're going to see some stuff that you like for sure. And about how often are you making your own pipes? How many are you cranking out?
Probably now it's going to be one a week, I would say, or 2 every 2 weeks, depending on
just your time away from work, and you be able to get into the shop for yourself.
Yeah, and just like the mental, like, what do I feel like working on?
Do you have your own setup, or are you using a Dremel stuff, or
mainly Dremel setup? We're starting to incorporate some of my own equipment into his workshop.
Okay.
Which has been really cool. But yeah, the majority is his equipment, because his whole shop is set up for pipe making. Like, everything is thought out, So it's a lot easier and a lot more convenient, and just the space, you feel not so constrained, because coming from my own shop, which was a 9x9 like corrugated square in my garage.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of like bumping around, fumbling, and stuff like that. So now you can just kind of breathe.
Yeah, you've got some space where you can just
just lay back and whatnot.
I'm kind of claustrophobic, and so the more open space I've got, the more comfortable I am, for sure.
Yeah, big difference.
Follow him at c.martinpipes on Instagram. Do you have a Facebook presence?
I do not have a Facebook.
Okay, so you're going to get to see most of his stuff on Instagram. Chris, thank you very much, man. Good luck to your to the future for you. I see a really bright, eventful future for you, man. This is really good stuff. I love mine. It smokes wonderfully. Here's another one that I was kind of looking at a little bit, with the same kind of shape but a little bit bigger stem or stumble on that. This is really great stuff. Good job for you, man.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, guys. Well, that's all we've got for you today. Please make sure that you follow him. Don't forget, make all your piping moments count. We'll see you next time, and have a great week. Bye-bye. Thanks, Chris.